So thank you, and I'm really honoured to have been asked to speak on your call. It really does mean a lot. Obviously, we're talking about mindset, and personally, I know this is the only secret to success, and it's certainly not a secret in our team. I'm going to turn this printer off. I just wait, sorry, I've turned the plug off. And I do a lot of mindset work. I listen to a lot of stuff to increase my knowledge every day, and I'll tell you my daily routine. But I do that because I'm not stupid, even though I'm saying I'm thick, I'm not that thick. Because I realise one thing, that, and I'm sure you'll all agree, that this business is exactly the same for everybody, yeah? The case credit is worth the same, retailing the products is the same, sharing the business opportunity is exactly the same for every single one of us. We all start this business on the same level. We all achieve our promotions by doing exactly the same things. So why is it then that some people are really successful and some people aren't? Why do some people stick to it and some people don't? And the only difference between everything else in this business, apart from the marketing plan, is mindset. Call mindset what you want. Call it attitude, call it behaviours, call it habits, but you can encompass that under the whole heading of mindset. And it really is just the way in which you do things, because what we're doing is actually exactly the same. So if it's not what we're doing, it's how we're doing it that makes us either really successful or not, or make things happen really quickly or not. You know, and sometimes, yes, journeys are longer. You know, sometimes it takes us a little bit of time to learn. Sometimes you may have to make some big old bloody mistakes, you know, some massive cock-ups before that light bulb goes on. But the truth of the matter is, some people will give up before that happens. Some people won't even give themselves enough of a chance. Some people will talk themselves out of doing stuff instead of talking themselves into doing stuff. You know, I can't lie and say that I find everything easy. Sometimes it's been bloody hard. You know, staying positive and think about it. As you get kind of more success, your team gets bigger. What does that bring with it? Let me turn up. Sorry, I've left my Facebook on Nick to digging. What does that bring with it? More positivity. Yes, definitely, because there's more success. More negativity, because there's more people to blink and moan. So, of course, you know, you have to, the bigger your team gets, the stronger your mind has to be. If you have a weak mindset, you will attract people into your team with a weak mindset. If you think you have a strong mindset and negative things are happening all the time, I promise you, you're not working on yourself deep enough. You're not working on yourself hard enough. You know, having a positive mindset is not about just being positive. It's not. You know, can you honestly say that no negative thoughts go through your head every day? You'd be a liar to say that you couldn't, because I can't say that. Because the truth of the matter is, we'd all be dead if we didn't allow ourselves to think negative thoughts. What I mean by that is, when I walk out into the street and I want to cross the road, I don't think, oh yay, this is perfectly safe, and skip across the road and I'm across safe. I think, oh, better be careful here. Those cars are going to win if we have a collision. That's a bit negative, isn't it? Oh, could get run over here. Yeah, that's negative, but that's okay. You know, that's not going to attract me getting run over because I've had that thought. Just like if you're running your business and you have a thought in the day of, gosh, you know, I don't have the confidence to do this or whatever, that's okay. As long as you then do something that's either going to give you the knowledge, going to build up your mindset, as long as you're putting the steps in that's going to get you towards your goal, not backtracking away from your goal. And I want you all to ask yourself these questions every day, as in, when you're about to do something, is that action, activity, mindset, spending time with someone, is it going to take you closer to your goals, or is it going to move you further away? And obviously, dependent on the answer is whether you do it or not, or how long you do it for. So this business is very much 80% mindset and 20% skill set. You do need the skills. If you don't listen to the trainings, if you don't attend the events, if you don't log into these kind of trainings, you will not succeed, probably at the rate that you want to. You know, and you've got to remember, when you do succeed, then how well can you pass that on to your team? This business as well, when you start to get a big team built, and it will happen. I don't care if it takes you 12 months, 15 months, 20 months, 10 years. I don't care how long it takes you, but I am telling you, if you do the right activities, you build yourself as a person and you develop yourself. This is not about doing mindset activities that just make you feel positive and that'll give you a great business. This is about really developing your mind. You know, working and reading the books and listening to the things that are going to give you knowledge that you can then pass on to your team, even if you don't have a team already. It's going to attract better people into your business. Think about it. When you go to the gym, do you expect to get a six-pack the next day? I know I'd like one, but I don't expect it. You don't expect it. In fact, if you go to the gym for a day, you cannot see any change whatsoever. You know it's happening, you know it'll take a longer period of time, but you can't see it straight away. And it's just like this business. Who expects immediate results? People do. And people give up if they don't get them. But what they don't realise normally, just before they give up, is just before something incredible is going to happen, or just before they overcome what it is that actually has been stopping them that maybe they didn't realise. You know, you have to go to these trainings, you have to go to the events, because these are the things, honestly, that give you what I'd like to call light bulb moments. And I'll share with you, I don't think I've ever shared it before, but I had a light bulb moment, and I used to think, really, light bulb moments, just work your butt off. I'm very black and white. I'm just like, really, do you need a light bulb moment? Just, isn't it enough to want to change your family's life, or whatever your reason why is? I think it isn't that enough. But actually, no, sometimes it's not enough, or sometimes we don't realise that we can be stood in our own way. And some of you might think, well, you know, in January this year when I had my light bulb moment, well, you know, you've done well already, and yeah, but I knew there was something stopping me accessing just that extra bit, and I knew there was something stopping me. And of course, I can only tell you my journey. So, the first year. It was last year. Yeah, last year. Gosh, it seems so long now. But last year, from January to August, I was making like a manager a month. There's a manager a month going in my team frontline. From August last year to January to February this year, I hadn't made a manager. Now, that is not coincidence. That is not, oh, well, they're just not doing it. That is something to do with me, and I knew it. It's something to do with me. My mindset seemed good. I just couldn't get to the crux of what it was. So not settling and thinking, well, you know, I'm earning good money. Everything's changed in my life. I wanted to get to the root of it, and I didn't know what it was. So I know the only way to do that is to start attending events. So there was an event on with a lady called Jan Rue, and she's kind of like mindset, but with practical network marketing stuff. She's an amazing lady, an American lady. And if I can be completely honest with you, I only went to set an example for my team. I didn't think I needed it. I knew my mind was fine. I was positive. I knew it was all going to happen. I just knew as well there was something holding me back. So I was hoping that there would be something that would come out of it, but I wasn't expecting anything. So the first day went by, and yeah, it was brilliant, and my team liked it, and you know, it was good. But there was no light bulb moment for me, and you know, I just thought, yeah, that was a good bit of training. I took some notes. I'm going to take it back to the team. That's fine. The second day, we were doing some exercises. Jane Leach had attended as well, and you know, we were going through, and I thought, well, this has been good. If nothing else, it's lifted me up, and I feel positive and ready to kind of get back to work and stuff. And I felt okay. And then she said one line while we were doing an exercise, and it was about deserving. I can't remember exactly what she said, but something about having that kind of blockage there where you're standing in your own way because you maybe don't feel you deserve it. And oh my God, I cried like a bloody baby. I was broken. I was sobbing my heart out. I had to go to the toilet. I cried my false eyelashes off twice. Lucky I took my glue. I was an absolute mess. And I was annoyed with myself that I was crying so much. I was like, get a grip, you total sissy. So anyway, I get in my car to go home. And then I'm like, no, don't be annoyed. This is a light bulb moment. You know what it is. This is what it's been. So I ring Dave O'Connor. I'm like, oh my gosh, I know exactly what it is that's holding me back. He was like, you've been held back? I was like, yes, I've been held back. I haven't helped anyone get to manager between August and February. That is not a fluke. Like, that is because something's going on in my head, and I've got it. I found it. I feel like I don't deserve it. I need to get over this. So I did a blueprint, and I worked a lot on self-belief and working on like self-worth and things. Read a few books, and look what happened. It went blinking crazy. Absolutely mental. My business trebled over 5 months. Trebled, and managers are coming through again, and it's all great. And that was it. One sentence at one event. And if I had to attend 100 events just for that to happen, what happened in January, I would have been there, because it was well worth it. So I'll share with you now just some thoughts and concepts that I've used so far in my short journey. So how many of you can pop your hands up so Laura can see, but so far can honestly say that you've realised that you've got a lot of work to do on yourself? Your mind, your behaviours, your habits that you didn't even realise, but coming across forever. Looking at this opportunity has made you realise, oh my goodness, I really need to work on myself. So if I ask you all, and you can answer this, you write it down or whatever you want, but do you want to be successful? Do you want to change your family's lives? Do you want to be the best person you can be? Do you want to be the best leader you can be? Do you want to be the best you can be? Do you want to achieve supervisor? Do you want to do your 4 case credits? Do you want to achieve manager, assistant manager, sapphire manager, soaring manager, diamond manager, double diamond manager? Do you want to get a chairman's bonus check? Do you want to qualify for Eagle manager incentive? Do you want to do a 100 club incentive? What is it that you want to do? You need to write these things down. If you want to take your husband out for a meal without the worry of, oh my goodness, we can't really afford this, but we will, and we'll go without something else. That was my first goal, to take my husband for a meal at a place where they do the most amazing steaks, and we could never afford a taxi home, so we could never afford to drink together. But plus, these steaks were 25 quid. That was 50 quid, plus drinks. We didn't have that kind of money. That was one of my first goals, and I will never, ever, ever forget the feeling of achieving that. That to me means more than any goal of, a Mulberry blinking handbag. And that doesn't make me feel that great. But I tell you, buying that meal for my husband with no worries attached to that, being able to go to bed knowing I don't have a credit card that needs paying off, being able to go to bed knowing that my mum and dad are looked after, those are the things that really mean a lot to me. So yes, I might be dripping in Sainsbury's clothes. I went for breakfast this morning with a few of the managers from the team, and they all rocked up. Amazing cars, great. Yeah, I got a nice car. That does it to me. I'm pleased with that. But I looked at them all, and they all looked bloody fantastic. They looked they looked amazing, and I looked like crap. I had Sainsbury's jogging bottoms on, and I looked around and thought, God, I'm doing something wrong here. But you know what it made me realise? I still have work to do on me, and I don't mean get into the gym and stop eating fat man, but what I mean is my self-worth. I like knowing what I'm worth, and I bet some of you have those same issues. You just maybe hadn't realised it yet. About deserving it. You deserve it. If you're going to work hard, you deserve it. So make sure you're working on your mindset from the very beginning. No self-sabotage going on. You're just you feel like you're on the edge of something. And yeah, I get it. And yeah, I know I need to get that event. but you don't book your ticket for the next Eagles event and you think, oh, no, I can't really afford 15 quid, or, oh, no, maybe the train won't be, oh, how am I going to get there, or there won't be anyone to give me a lift, or there's always excuses. That's actually self-sabotage. You are stopping yourself achieving what it is that you want to achieve, the answer to all those last questions. So make sure that you realise that you deserve this. You deserve to make big changes in your life if that's what you want. You deserve to have peace of mind, financial freedom, whatever it is that you're wanting. So you can say yes to all of those questions that I've just asked you. But see, this is just a conversation. I'm just asking you what it is that you want, and you're just writing down, or you might be sat there saying it out loud. And what shows up in conversation? What shows up in conversation? Nothing. It's just conversation. But expectation shows up in behaviours. So you might be saying you want these things, but how do you behave? Is that saying you want the things? So are you going to the business presentations? Are you tuning into the trainings? Are you getting out there and, if you're going out prospecting, you're dressing right, are you learning how to explain the business? See, expectation shows up in behaviour. So your mind will expect results if you're behaving like you have to behave to get the results. So I can see what you expect by your behaviour. I can see what you expect by your attitude. If I'm speaking to someone and I'm picking up negativity all the time, you don't expect to be successful. Therefore, you will not be successful. Do you see what I mean? You're not behaving like you expect it. You need to start doing those things even before you are. So not just those people who sit in planning meetings, you get all excited, then you go away, or you listen to this call and you do 0.1 of a case credit. I mean those who say they're working on mindset, but 3 days later have a dip, 3 weeks later have a dip. If you've been told what it takes to be successful and you're not doing it, why are you sabotaging that? There will be a reason for it, and you need to work out why. If I tell you that every single day I wake up, I listen to Dave O'Connor Blueprint, I then go and get myself ready, I sit in my dressing room, make that sound really nice, it's just a room with a wardrobe and a desk in it. I sit there, I getting my face on, my hair done, with my laptop, YouTube open, and something that motivates, inspires, or gives me knowledge every single day without fail. Because I know the importance of habits, good behaviours. I know the importance of starting my day off well. Otherwise, what happens? I wake up, I check my Facebook. Negative, bit of positive, negative, bit of positive. How is the spirit of my day going to start? So I am really strict on that. I will never ever sacrifice that time because it is essential, and I know the power of habit. So if someone says to me, or if you've said this before, I really, really want it, are you doing the mindset training every single day? Because I'm telling you that's what it takes to be successful. Believe it or not, it matters not to me. It will only affect you and your business. So if I'm telling you that's what it is, if something is not working and you're not doing the activity that's been told, I promise you, this is the only secret to success. This is the only difference between it. And you're not doing it, you don't want it enough. You're not putting in that activity. You're sabotaging your own success. See, what's important isn't today, isn't right now, this training. It's actually what you do after this training. You sit there taking notes, or you sat there listening thinking, yeah, it's right that. You wake up tomorrow morning and you don't do it. You've wasted an hour or however long this training is going to be of your life. You've wasted it. Completely not worth a second of your time. Let's talk about wealth as well. It's important to learn how to create wealth. Lack of money is actually the root of all evil. People kill for money, they steal for money. Crime is all because of money. So in the areas that are poorest in the world, they've got the highest unemployment, they've got the highest crime rates. Why do you think that is? It's a lack of money. So at first I felt really guilty putting money amounts on where I wanted to be. I felt it easier and I felt more deserving if I put things I wanted to do for other people. But actually, money makes a difference in your life. I never really wanted to be rich. We all say it, don't we? Oh, it'd be great to be rich. I never really wanted to be rich. I just wanted to be comfortable. But what I found was, in order to be comfortable, you've got to be rich. And rich is different for every person. If I'm honest, rich to me was earning in that first month £324.29. I felt bloody rich because I'd never had £324 extra on top of my police wage. I felt rich. So rich to you is whatever you say it is, whatever it allows you, I guess, to go to sleep with no worries. That's whatever it is, you know, to you. Zig Ziglar, I don't know if you've heard of him, but great to watch on YouTube. He said, YouTube, he said, money won't make you happy, but everyone wants to find out for themselves. I can say to you guys, money won't make you happy. You're not going to trust me, are you? You're going to want to go away and find out. Hey, let's get rich and then see if Emma was right. It's such a funny saying to me, but actually it's really true. Another woman that I like, Rita Davenport, said, money isn't important, but it's right up there with oxygen. She's blinking right, isn't she? You know, you can't live, you can't breathe. Some of us, if you've got to pay for your prescription with asthma pumps, you know, you literally can't breathe without money. So it is essential. Money makes a difference. Money gives you options. Money gives you choices. Money gives you control over your life. It allows you to live a life of contribution, contribute to things that mean a lot to you. It really does matter. So when people say, money doesn't drive me, no, it doesn't drive me either. But the things I can do with it are actually the things that drive me. So, but some people are driven by money, and that's absolutely fine. In the UK, we're uncomfortable talking about money. Nobody ever says, oh, I'm a police officer. Oh, does it pay well? No one's ever said that. And, you know, imagine if your friend said, you know, if your friend said to you, what do you do? I'm a nurse. Do they pay well? It's all right. You never say, yeah, it's okay. In America, they talk about money. They talk in monetary values. So, you know, if they say, do you make good money doing that? Yeah, about $100,000 a year. They'll actually openly tell you. But in the UK, we're really kind of like that stiff upper lip. But if we know that the secret, yeah, we need to accumulate wealth. We need to accumulate wealth to become comfortable. We need to accumulate wealth to have that peace of mind, to be financially free, to be able to do the things for the kids or the family or your parents, the things that you want to do, or to make you happy. You've got to be willing to do the things today that others won't do. And that is all it is. So you've got to be willing to do the things today that others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow that others won't have. So how do I know it's true? Because I've done it. I have done it myself. I have done the things that other people are not prepared to do. And like Laura says about how busy I've been, yeah, I can genuinely say, hand on heart, I've never met anybody that has worked as hard as I have these past nearly 2 years. But I am, believe it or not, big announcement, I am slowing down. I've decided, I think it was a moment today when I realised that all the girls there were sat there and they all looked really happy and, you know, in their gorgeous clothes, and they'd all been to the gym and had time for them. And I thought, God, I'm doing something wrong here. You know, this is not a race. It's a marathon. I'm in this for the long haul. So why burn yourself out? You know, I want to do this to be, not just to, you know, have a great life, but to become a better person. And how am I going to do that? I need to do that by being in the best state of mind that I can be. So whatever you're doing now, you need to do what you're doing in the best frame of mind that you can do it in. To be the best mum, to be the best parent, to be the best auntie, uncle, sister, brother, you know, team leader, whatever you do in your day job. You know, that's what you need to be, the best you can be. And I recommend that you all read the book Your Best Year Yet. It's a great time of the year to start working on your goals. I'll leave you with my top tips, I suppose, based on mindset. So the first one would be knowledge. Expand your knowledge. Read books. As a human being, you have something really, really special that no other species on the planet has. So a dog will only ever be a dog. A cat will only ever be a cat. But you as a human being can become whatever that you want to be. So make sure you make the most of that. You know, build up your knowledge, whether that be, you know, on obviously network marketing, being a better person, you know, building up your knowledge about mindset, Just expand your knowledge daily. Belief. I would say that you really have to work hard on belief. The belief to act on those goals, the belief to act on your desires and the dreams that you have, believe that they are possible. Because I promise you, if someone would have sat me down 2 years ago, which was 6 months before I joined Forever, and told me or showed me, sat me down and showed me a movie at the last 19 months, I probably would have locked them up under Section 136. That's the Mental Health Act. Still remember, see, still got it. Yeah, I would have, because I'd have thought you are absolutely bloody crazy, because I did not believe anything like this was possible. But you know, when I was pregnant, I started working on mindset again, because I'd watched The Secret years before, and I took it a little bit deeper, and then lo and behold, what did I attract? Juliana Woods popped up on my timeline again. I thought, you know, I'm desperate. I really need a way of not going back. And there we go. The belief, though, I started this business in the right mindset. So you can say, well, you say it shouldn't go fast, or it might take time, but it went fast for you. But I started this with absolutely the right mindset. I didn't have any work to do on that particular part of me. You know, I do consistently work on it every day, but I didn't actually have anything dire need. My last tip would be that I suppose to, I don't know really how to put it in a word, but be disciplined. So how many of you know that if you were more disciplined, you would already be more successful than you are now? 85% of people allow their fear of failure to outweigh their desire to succeed. Don't you think that's crazy? 85% of people allow their fear of failure to outweigh their desire to succeed. I travelled 4 hours away from my parents I moved 4 hours away from my parents and my family, we were all incredibly close, to join a police force because of that, because of fear of failure. I could have joined Gwent Police. I would have been able to stay close to my family. I wouldn't have had some of the struggles that I had because I was so far, because of the challenge of being so far away from them, albeit I wouldn't have met Sean. So just like the fear of failure shouldn't affect you, anything that's happened before now in your life should not determine where your life is going. And what I mean by that is, and Steve Jobs says a wonderful line in his speech to Harvard University. If you haven't watched it already, have a look at it on YouTube after this training. But you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect the dots looking backwards. And I think that is one of the most powerful things I have ever heard, because looking back, you realise how you got to where you've got, because you can only connect the dots looking backwards, and to look backwards you've got to move forwards. So when I went through a breakup with a guy I went out with for 10 years, I could see absolutely no reason how that was going to ever benefit me. It was heartbreaking. But if that hadn't have happened, I wouldn't have struggled with my confidence. If that hadn't have happened, I wouldn't have got a job in Gwent Police Control Room. If I hadn't have got a job in Gwent Police Control Room, I wouldn't have been bullied. If I hadn't have been bullied, I wouldn't have been so broken that my brother sent me The Secret to watch. If I hadn't have watched The Secret, I never ever would have learned the power of mindset. If I hadn't have learned the power of mindset, I never ever would have joined, or I wouldn't have never had the courage to apply for the police force. Yes, I know it was in Manchester, but you know, step by step. If I hadn't have joined the police in Manchester, I never would have met Sean. If I never would have met Sean, I never would have had the support there, that when I went through my anxiety and back to depression, I wouldn't have known what real love was, you know, and I wouldn't have known what it was to really support someone. If I hadn't have met Sean, I wouldn't have had William. If I hadn't have had William, if I hadn't have been pregnant with William, I never would have found Forever. If I hadn't have found Forever, my life wouldn't have changed, and I wouldn't have become this person. I wouldn't have got the confidence I have now. I wouldn't have overcome the anxiety. So, I mean, I'm sorry to tell you all my shit that's happened, but that is what I mean about connecting the dots. At the time, I could see no reason they were happening, but later on, I could see why they've happened. You know, and it goes down to even things like People have a go at me calling it a pyramid scheme. People having a go at me saying they can't believe I've joined something like this. They thought more of me than that. You know, I'm not robbing old women here. I'm trying to make a better life for my family and doing it in an honest and ethical and really amazing company. They're just generous, and people find that really hard to believe. But that is their issue, not mine. If I'd have taken those things on board, none of you would be sat here running your businesses today, because I would have given up. But I was stronger than that. I was willing to work on my mindset. I would be the most disciplined person ever, and I was going to have belief in me, belief in the company, belief in that everything that I was being told would work if I just applied myself. So believe that it's possible. Sounds cheesy, but it's blinking true. Believe that it's possible. All those incentives are there for you to take. You are absolutely no different to anybody else. Your mind might be, though. So let's get to work on your mindset. Thank you so much for having me on, and I really look forward to seeing you all at the next Eagles events. If you haven't got your tickets yet, get your tickets. It is going to be phenomenal. So I'm excited about that. Thanks, Laura.
Emma Cooper, just before you go, I want to say a massive thank you. And I just want to quickly say something, because I know that a lot of people, well, every single person in the team massively, massively looks up to you. And they think you're royalty.
No pressure.
Everything they do, they just think you're amazing, which you totally, totally are. But what I want them to know is that you're a person, and you've had the same 24 hours in the day as everyone. You know, you've had shit thrown at you, excuse my language, but you've come up the other end with roses because you've done your mindset, you've done your goal setting, and you've just worked your bollocks off, excuse my language again, but that's what you say to me, Emma. You just want to do that. So, guys, any of you can do it. Don't just think, oh, I want to be like Emma Cooper one day. Set your own story, set your own goals, and go for that. We're all different. But Emma's a person like us, and we can do it. I hope you didn't mind me saying that, Em.
No, absolutely not. Maybe not the bit about the bollocks. I feel a bit blokey as it is already, having put on about 2 stone.
I'm only passing on what you taught me.
But yeah, a really good point. Can I just finish on that? What you just said about comparing yourselves. You know, I never said to myself, I want to be the next Jane Leach. I want to be the next Juliana Woods. I want to be the next Natalie Healy. I never ever thought that, you know, because I wanted to be the first me. And so if anyone ever says to me, oh, I'm going to be the next Emma Cooper, I'm like, no, you're not. You're going to be the first you. And I tell you now, like when our last Eagles event, if you missed it, like Laura was absolutely literally crapping herself and throwing up at the same time. I got a voice message with the proof that it was horrific. There was no need. However, if you did miss it, there was someone who spoke, and you've probably seen her on the page, is Jackie Bishop. And do you know, her story, I think, hit home more to 99% of that audience than my story would have. And it inspired 99% more of those people than my story would. And I tell you what, her story is absolutely incredible. If you haven't had her speaking on your call or on your Sunday call, get her on. Because, you know, that girl didn't earn over, I think it's 250 quid bonus in her first 12 months. And I will not tell you what has happened since then. I'll let you get her on your call and let her tell you all her story. Because I tell you what, that is... For me, I sat on that front row and I cried, and I knew the blinking story. I was part of the story. But I tell you, it's brilliant stuff. But what I will say is don't compare yourself. Do not look at anyone else. If you are somebody who compares yourself, turn off the notifications of that person, of that team page, whatever it is, because it should inspire you. If you're in the right mindset, other people's success should inspire you. You know, if they can do it, I can do it. I can't lie to you that some of the people that inspire me the most, they are so bloody boring to listen to. And I'm not just joking, because I think, well, if they can do what they've done and they're blinking boring, then I can do it too. So, you know, use these things to inspire you, not to compare against in a negative way that you're not worthy of it or you can't achieve it. So I'll leave you with that. Good night, everybody, and thank you so much for having me. I love you all loads, and you say the luscious things, Laura, so don't say any more because I've already cried once.
Bye. See you soon.
Love you all. Bye.
Okay, so guys, wasn't that amazing? And I'm sure you guys either took notes or just hopefully just popped that into your head. So obviously Emma's done so well because she's had an amazing mindset, but I know as well that her goal setting is just absolutely phenomenal. She will know every single goal's date, the date that she wants to come to achieve it by, but also has broken down each goal into minute little goals that she will focus on daily. Because it's great to have mindset, but if you don't have goals and good smart goals, then it's not going to happen. So what Emma's already mentioned this evening, actually, the book called Your Best Year Yet. And then we're actually going to use that now for the rest of the evening. I'm going to cut it down short, a bit shorter than I wanted to. But the reason we're going to look at this is because I think it runs nicely with what Emma's been talking about. So we've talked about mindset, and now we're going to look at actually making some good goals. Now, I don't know if you were like me, but before I read this book, I would just be going about my daily life, and all these goals would come into my head. I'd be like, yeah, I want that goal. I want this goal. I want that goal. But actually, what goal is more important? Where do I put my energy? Where do I put my time? So throughout the day, I'd be doing tasks that would maybe aim towards 10 different goals, but actually some of those goals weren't that important. So when I read this book, it actually taught you to look at your goals and break things down and actually start you thinking about things in your life that you thought wouldn't be actually related to goals. So by doing this next task now, we're hopefully going to, by the end anyway, have written some clearer goals down and actually prioritize goals so that you're actually putting your energy into the right activity, but also thinking about your morals as well, because you don't want to have a goal that doesn't make you feel that you're being loyal to yourself, if that makes sense. So what I first want you to do is, like I asked at the start, is to get that music on. So quickly grab whatever you're going to play it on, your radio, your TV, your iPad. So quickly pop that on. You need to pick up, get a clean piece of paper out ready. Get your pen. Make sure you're in silence. Hopefully my house is a bit more silent now than it was earlier. Okay, so I'll let you get all of that ready now. Okay, are you ready? So the first thing that I want you to write down is what you accomplished in the last year. Now, it can be the last 6 months, but I would go the last year. Okay, so to answer this question and the next one, I want you to think back over the past year and write down any response as you ask yourself that question. So literally write down anything. So it can be you lost the weight you wanted to lose. You got back in touch with someone that you wanted to. You became a mum and you think you've done an okay job. You started a business. You did something that scared you. Anything. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to write that down. And to prove that you guys have been doing these activities, at the end, I want you to all screenshot your notes and bang them on the screen as well. So anything that you've accomplished this year. So it can be linked with your family, with your business, your health, your work. Anything that comes into your mind. Okay? So hopefully you've jotted some of these down. Now, if you can write the question, the actual words of the question down, because I know with the length of time that we're going to be doing this, you're not going to get all the answers written. So write those headings in big, bold writing or highlight them, because I want you to look at these again tomorrow as well. So, okay, question number 2. Are you ready? What were your disappointments in the past year? So what were your disappointments? So some examples could be you gained a stone in weight, You lost someone close to you, ended a relationship, you were earning less money than you wanted, you didn't take any steps in finding your new job or finding your new partner, the trip to America that you wanted didn't materialize, you joined the gym but went once, anything basically. I don't know, you left your credit cards build up to a stupid amount. So anything that disappointed you in the last year. So I'll give you a minute to write that. It'd be great as well to know, guys, at the end, what music inspired you, because what inspires you might inspire someone else. Okay, so another minute there, just anything that disappointed you. Okay, so next, now this one is I think a really important one. From looking at your answers from number 1 and 2, so your biggest accomplishments and your disappointments, what have you learned from those things? So as you reflect back over the past year, think about what you've learned. Okay, don't let a thought go by without writing it down. Anything that comes into your head, jot it down. So when looking at the answers to 1 and 2, maybe you could think, what was the secret of your success? So something that you accomplished, what made it a success? How was your mindset? What did you do to make it successful? What worked? Why were you able to achieve what you did? And then when you're looking over the questions, your answers for number 2, your disappointments, have a think about this. So why didn't it work, or what didn't work and why? Or maybe what would have worked better? So what was your lesson from all of that? So hopefully by looking at that, you're going to know what changes you need to make in the way you operate. And obviously see things that you did that weren't great and just think how you're going to change them around. So I'll give you another minute just to think about that. So some answers might be you weren't organised, you didn't plan, you didn't set aside family time. Other things might include you didn't put your family first, you weren't relaxed. Okay, so hopefully you've written some of those things down. Okay, so your next question. Oh, we've done that one. Sorry, what did we learn? Okay, so I want to ask you, how do you limit yourself? Okay, so let me read this out to you because I think this is great. So as you begin to answer this question, you may come up with all kinds of reasons. I want you to write them down. Okay, so here are some of the examples or answers that might pop into your head or other people have said, or some of these might even be my own answers. So how do you limit yourself, guys? So you might think you're lazy. You might think you don't stand up for yourself. You might think if it's relationship linked, because it can link to that, it's not just about the business. When you fancy someone, you don't do anything about it. You don't follow through on what you say you're going to do. So you let yourself down over and over again. You're not consistent. You spend more money than you make. You don't plan. You think to yourself, you've never been able to do something, so why should I do it now? Now, as you're writing these things down, I also want you to think of something else. And you're most probably quite aware of this, but what has it cost you by you doing so? So think of those limits and how you think and what barriers or obstacles you put there. What has it cost you? It could have cost you quite a lot of money. By not talking to that prospect or that potential, they could have been your diamond. They could have, lost you £100,000 in the next 5 years. Okay, self-respect. You could have lost self-respect. You could have lost your health because you limited yourself. You didn't go and follow through things, so you lost your health because you weren't very good at giving yourself you time. So by thinking about what cost it's been to you, you might be more willing then to kind of get rid of those limits. So have a quick think about that. I'll give you another minute to write those down. So anything that you think limits yourself. And if you have finished that bit, while you're waiting for the others to finish, look at the limits you've written down and change them into a positive. Okay, so just some examples of those. Let me think. So you might think one of your limited paradigms might be, I can't do what I really want to do. And then you're just going to say to yourself, instead of that, I empower myself to have what I want. You might think I'm not good enough. What you need to think is, I have much to offer and I enjoy finding places to give. Okay, so you're turning things into the positive. You might think I'm fat, ugly and hopeless. What I want you to think is, I'm lean, strong and healthy. I want money, but I'm not worth any more than I'm making now, or I'm worthless. Money is abundant and flows spontaneously in my life. So what you're doing is turning those limits into positives. And like Emma was talking about, when you are talking about mindset, when these little negatives, little niggles come into your mind, you have to turn them around. So again, things like we practice in sport. If you're about to go into a competitive situation and you think, oh, I'm tired, you're going to be tired. What you have to just say over and over again in your head is something positive. I'm strong, I'm strong, I'm strong. And just honestly, by saying those words over and over again, the positives, you're going to get yourselves there. Okay, so we'll move on to the next one. So what roles do you play? So slightly changing the subject now, but this is really important because when you're writing your goals, you don't want to just be writing your goals for your business. You want to be looking at all of areas of your life. So I want you to now to write down, don't worry about placing them in order of importance yet, but any roles that you think you play. Anything at all. So it could be a mum, could be a partner, it could be a teacher. See how many you can jot down there. And what I'd like you to do is just bang in the question box how many roles that you've got. That's it. So give you a couple more minutes to do that one. And what I want you to do while you're doing those roles is to have a look to see if any can be categorized into one area. So you might be thinking, okay, I'm a cook because you need to cook for your family. So that might be a homemaker. So under homemaker, what roles are there? So jot those down. I'm going to give you a little bit longer because this is quite an important one. So who wants to jot down how many they've got there? So it could be a son, a daughter, a family member, homeowner, manager, receptionist, fundraiser, director, husband,